Senator Rafferty, Representative Brennan, and members of the Educational and Cultural Affairs Committee. My name is Amber Levine of Newcastle. I am speaking in opposition, of LD 394. In December of 2022, I discovered a breast binder in my child's bedroom. After discussion with my child, it was revealed that a school social worker provided this and a second binder to her sometime in October. It's important to notate the social worker began working for the school system at the beginning of the 2022-2023 school year in September and had met with my daughter at most 2 30-minute sessions and 1 10-minute check-in. That's a far cry from the 13 years I've spent raising, loving, and nurturing my child. It's also important to note that this social worker never reached out to me to introduce himself to me as a person who would be working and caring for my child in the school system. He told my child he wouldn't share this information with me and that she didn't have to either. This resulted in my child spending months hiding binders in her bedroom, causing her a lot of distress. When I was a child, I was taught by my parents and educators alike from a young age that no adult should ever encourage me to keep a secret, and if they did, that was bad. I believe a goal of having social workers in our schools as a mental health provider myself is important. And I believe a goal of that is to improve the mental health and well-being of our children and their families. If this passes, this is the kind of supposed care our children struggling with gender identity will receive. Assumptions were made, a call to DHHS was made on me. There were serious flaws in the judgment of a 26-year-old social worker working in AOS 9 schools. This has resulted in serious distress, not just for my child, my 13-year-old child, but my 2 younger children, myself, her father, and her step-parents as well. This has also resulted in a loss of trust of my family, of my local school district, and I've pulled my child from school, and my other 2 children, I don't know what the future holds for their school. About the time these chest binders were secretly given to my child, I took her to the local walk-in clinic on a Saturday to be treated. The issue she had absolutely could have been a result of utilizing a breast binder. Because I did not know at the time that my child was utilizing one of these devices, I did not have this information to share with her provider. Though this was not a life-threatening problem, there was a gap in my child's care due to secrets being kept from her mother. This could have resulted in a much worse outcome due to the provider lacking vital information regarding her health. There are no studies to date that outline minors making life-altering decisions without the guidance of their parents result in positive outcomes. On Tuesday, I filed a lawsuit against the school for depriving me of my constitutionally protected rights to make decisions regarding my child's healthcare and education. I've submitted a copy of my testimony. Beyond this mistreatment of my child, this bill violates the rights of my parental rights and the rights of all parents across Maine. Protected by the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court has consistently held that parents have a fundamental right to control and direct the education, upbringing, and healthcare decisions of their children. Do what is constitutionally right for the parents in this beautiful state of Maine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from, yes, Representative Lyman?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the work session, and thank you.
Yes.
I want to know if this work we do with this, if chapter 117 is allowing for what was just described to happen. I want an answer to that.
Thank you. Other questions? Representative Sampson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Ms. Levine, for being here. I'm sorry for what you're going through and your courage to come forward here. That's quite impressive. I'm just curious, as this has happened to your daughter, she had just turned 13, you said?
Yeah, September 15th, she turned 13, and she was given the binders in mid-October from what she has told me.
Was she even, this is personal, not necessary to get into, but I just, they're just starting puberty at that age.
Absolutely.
My question to you is more specific.
Sure.
Where are these breast binders? I mean, I didn't know schools had a stash of breast binders. Where did this come from? Do you know in your school particular? I
don't know. I assume that will come out in proceedings in court. And I do want to outline that there were no findings of abuse or neglect in my home when DHHS came in and did an investigation as well.
Doesn't take away the scary part of.
It
going
does
through
not,
that
good sir.
process, but
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Representative Bagshaw.
Okay, why were you reported to DHS? What did they claim that you were doing to abuse your child?
I can't obtain a copy of that report, unfortunately, but the report, the letter outlining that they closed the case stated emotional abuse.
I had Representative Worth followed by Representative Dodge.
I just want to acknowledge that this sounds like this is very difficult for you, and I want
Representative Dodge.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Could we have some advice from our OPLA analyst, Ms. Risler, about discussing a court case in reference to this legislation? No? Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yes.
I don't see other questions at this time. Thank you very much for your testimony.